We're ready to go for the sprint race at Spa. We have 3 laps and a reversed grid waiting for you. The race will start in 3 beeps time. We're underway in Spa and immediately Halos jumps into the inside and goes through for the lead. Seth and Bizet are getting absolutely swamped and it's almost 5 wide there going into the first corner, and Bones takes the inside and takes the lead. Halos is running wide there and losing positions, and Apex is now right alongside Bones heading down towards Eau-Rouge, and you can see there Seth going slowly. But the leaders of the race are 2x2 heading towards Eau-Rouge. Bones has the inside, Apex on the outside, who will yield heading into the corner, and Apex slots in behind there and Penn spins out and makes contact with the barriers. At Eau-Rouge we go. Bones going a little bit wide there, and Apex is going to have a much better exit as we head down the Camel Straight. And it looks like Apex is already ahead, and there's a crash further back. That's Avery and Oscar going off, and it looks like Miko also had some damage there. Apex now clearly ahead of Bones as we head towards the Lacombe chicane. Who's going to brake later? Bones would have gone a little bit slipstream, and he goes for the inside, locks up and avoids Apex and keeps in second place for now. And oh no, Halos goes deep and Miko comes and collects him, and there's a crash there. Quite a bit of damage to both cars. They're left stranded in the little island there, but Ido Dodo is putting pressure on Blazin for the podium positions. 3rd place he's challenging for. Oh, and Blazin runs wide, almost going off the track there. That gives Ido the position quite easily, in fact. Starting in 8th position, Ido is already up into the podium places. Here comes Seth struggling with lag, and oh, Seth just runs into the back of him for another odd incident. Into the wall he goes. He'll also have damage now. And Miko, who has damage as well, will go past. So it's a whole nother race with the cars that have damage. Watching on board with Ido, following Bones. He's looking like he's going to go for a move into the chicane, and Bones brakes way later. And too late, he goes off and he spins. Ido goes up into 2nd position. Bones drops down the order. He started this lap leading it, and now he's down into 5th position. Heading into La Source, Apex comes around and he spins around. Ido will take the lead. It looks like he just gave it a bit too much throttle there. Oh, and he comes very close to hitting Blazin. He manages to keep ahead of Blurry for now, but Blurry is right on the back of him, and he should have a bit more speed heading into Eau-Rouge. Side by side they go, Apex in a battle down to Eau-Rouge for the 2nd time, but this time he is the inside and he is ahead, and so he will stay ahead for Blurry for the meantime. But right after that is the Camel Straight, the perfect opportunity to grab a slipstream and rocket past your competitors. Blurry will be making sure he is nice and neatly tucked up right behind Apex to get the maximum effect. Apex tries to weave a little bit, and Blurry is going to go down towards the inside into Lacombe. Oh, and he's a bit too far behind to make a move there. Apex holds on to his podium position for now. Looking back towards Apex, he's now started to pull a bit away from Blurry and is right behind Blazin. It appears that Ido's managed to build quite a bit of a gap here, and these 3 drivers battling for 2nd place isn't going to help to bring the gap down anytime soon. But that slipstream that Apex has on Blazin is going to help him to get up the inside, and that will turn into the outside heading towards the chicane. Blazin barely keeping ahead, but I think Apex has him now, and Apex takes the position. Blazin going wide, and this is going to give Blurry an opportunity behind that's been watching the battle so far, and he's going to send one up the inside into the chicane. Blazin from 2nd to 4th in 1 straight of the track. Ido Dodo begins the final lap with a commanding lead, but it's not over yet. We still have 1 more lap of racing to go, and those 3 are neck and neck. Blurry right at the back of Apex now, shaping up for the move on the inside into La Source. Apex sweeps around the outside, but Blurry's right alongside him at the exit of the corner. They're side by side heading towards Eau-Rouge. Apex just barely ahead, and Blazin right behind, watching the battle unfold. For the final time in this race, into Eau-Rouge we go. Apex first, Blurry next, and then Blazin, all battling for the podium positions. And it looks like Apex has gotten a much better exit than Blurry, but Blurry will have a slipstream down the long Camel Straight. Past the stricken car of Oscar they go. Blurry looking towards the inside into Lacombe chicane. Who will break the latest, who's bravest of them all? Apex keeps the position, but just barely, and Blurry has a much better exit and gets him on the outside, heading through the right-hander. And towards Bruxelles corner we go. It's side by side, and Blazin's going to make it 3 wide as Apex dives into the inside and has a snap, and there's contact. Both Blurry and Apex go spinning around, and Blazin jumps into 2nd position, and Bones will come through to complete the podium. Apex trying to continue with damage. It might be too much for Blurry though. He looks like he's not going anywhere. What a dramatic end to what was such a brilliant battle between those 3 drivers, and Apex will hopefully limp home for a 4th position here. There's Blurry. Looks like he's got some pretty major steering damage. He might not be able to make it fully around the lap, or at least before the 3 cars behind him do. Looks like his straight line speed isn't compromised though, only turning through the chaos and carnage that this sprint was. Ido the Dota comes around the corner to win his first sprint. 8 places gained and not a single position lost. Ido the Dota comes home first in the sprint by a very impressive margin. As around the corner comes Blazin, one of the 3 drivers in that epic battle that we witnessed, and he will come out on top purely by keeping his nose clean. First podium ever for Bones on his favourite track and in his special livery, and Apex will come home right behind him with a heavily damaged car. And in the background there you can see NV Zeta finishing now, and Blurry is out of the race. He won't finish at all, but since NV Zeta only finished 2 laps, he'll be classified ahead, despite not finishing the race. Pens recovers to a 5th position after that opening lap crash that he had. Not a bad result, and that'll give him 4 points towards the championship standings. And then Miko will come home in 6th position, also involved in some early drama. Spa delivers with yet another amazing race. Ido will get his 8 points for winning the race, and then Blazin gets 7, which helps him in his championship, and then all the way down to NV Zeta, who scores 1. Blurry crucially scores 2 points, and Oscar scores no points. And so Ido the Dota now passes Oscar in the standings. Apex dodges a bit of a bullet and gets 4th position, which scores him 5 points. And Pen Striker has his best result yet in any race, in a sprint race, and that scores him 4 points in 5th. Miko comes home in 6th, a decent recovery after his opening lap crash, the one that took out Halos in the end. Avery, Seth and Oscar also crashing out of the race and not scoring points today. Unfortunate for Oscar, but at least his rival Blurry didn't score too much, and the majority of the points are given out in the main race tomorrow. Despite only scoring 2 points, Blurry maintains that lead, but Ido gets past Oscar in the standings. Blazin also goes up, Seth dropping down a couple of positions, Bones gaining 2 positions. Farmboy, unfortunately not being able to race this weekend, will trickle down the order as the weekend goes by. Same goes for Burning and Wizard, also not racing in this race weekend today or tomorrow. And our 2 new rookies sitting in 14th and 15th at the bottom. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's race. Make sure you check out the main race and the rest of the series and subscribe so you never miss the next race coming out. We'll be back here tomorrow for a 5-lap race with the correct grid order. I'm sure it'll be an amazing race just like this one was. But until then, I'll see you later.